as the new year begins, it's the perfect opportunity to set meaningful goals that prioritize your health and well-being. The start of 2025 offers a chance to reflect on the past, consider what changes you'd like to make and establish a roadmap for a healthier lifestyle. Whether you aim to improve your physical fitness, mental resilience, or even overall habits, well, the following guest will, of course, help you to achieve your aspirations while enjoying the journey. Joining us virtually is Dr Anesu Mbizvo, medical doctor passionate about holistic mental and, mental health and wellness. In studio, we have Caylin Goodchild, a dietitian. A very good morning to you, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's an absolute pleasure. Caylin, let me also start with you. Let's talk about eating healthier and how that can be improved.
So you can look at starting quite broad if you're finding you new to this whole kind of weight loss journey, healthy eating journey. Then you want to start with your absolute basics, making sure your water's up to standard, making sure you include a lot of fruit and veg, nice colors, getting enough protein in. So that's like a very general place to start if you're quite new to it.
Yeah, and we're just discussing off camera what a role of a dietitian is, because everybody knows that we have to eat healthy, we have to drink lots of water, eat fruits and veggies. But what exactly do you advise people on?
So what's good to understand is that in a consultation, a dietitian sits with you for an hour discussing your goals, your family setup, if you have any religious food restrictions, your cultural food. So we don't want to give you foods from another culture that you're not really going to enjoy. So we take into account all those different factors, and then we tailor-make a plan for you based on your goals, your exercise level. Some of my clients aren't exercising, some are. So you take all of those into account, and then you tailor-make an eating plan for them. And then you follow up with them to see, is it working, is it not? And it's a nice eating plan. It's not restrictive to just brown rice, broccoli and chicken breast. And I think people think seeing a dietitian is going to be restriction.
I know,
a lot
right?
of the time it's not. I think the meal plans I create are wonderful, and people can follow it for the rest of their lives.
Dr. Mbizvo, let me also bring you in. What's the importance of focusing on your mental health and your physical well-being? Because it's no secret that we often get caught up in hectic lifestyles, our careers, our social life, family life, and we forget about our well-being and mental health.
Absolutely. I think we're starting to really recognize that our well-being is holistic, and mental health affects absolutely everything. If we're not in a good mental space, it's very unlikely that you'll feel motivated to exercise, that you'll have the consistency to follow your diet plan, that you'll be able to maintain your relationships. So a lot of our well-being really starts with the mental space that we create for ourselves. And that's really about creating safe spaces for us to feel the emotions that we're feeling, but also setting manageable goals. I think there's a lot of pressure that a lot of us feel at the start of the year. There's that saying, new year, new me.
Yes.
So you're one person on the 31st of December and magically you're someone new the very next day. And a lot of the time we feel like we have to live up to these unrealistic standards where we're just completely transforming ourselves in a matter of 24 hours. So a big part, I think, of setting mental well-being goals or goals that link to our mental health is about setting goals where we are slowly and incrementally shifting. Giving ourselves manageable goals that we can reach so that we start the year feeling like we are succeeding, like we're actually getting somewhere, instead of feeling like we're just adding weight onto our shoulders at this time of the year.
Yeah, I quite like your point that you've mentioned earlier on about making unrealistic goals. And then I know that some people on the 1st of January, they make so many resolutions. Some are quite unrealistic. And then by the 15th, they ditch those resolutions and hence exerting so much pressure on themselves. So what's the importance of just, recharging ourselves?
So important. So a lot of us spend our festive season with family, with loved ones, with friends. It tends to be quite a social time, which can be really fulfilling. It can fill up our tanks, but it often can also mean that we don't take a lot of time to really think about what we are wanting to achieve in the upcoming year. We also don't and spend a lot of time reflecting on what we've achieved in the previous year. It's almost like we're fast forwarding into the future. So time alone can be really, really useful to take some time to reflect. What goals have you already achieved in the last year? What things are proud of yourself for having done in the previous year. Maybe there were some lessons that came up for you that you learned in the last 12 months. And when we take this time in solitude, I think it can be a really great time to tap into our intuition, tap into our inner knowing, where we're not really focusing on other people's opinions, how we might come across to others when we're setting our new goals. And we start off the year a bit more authentically, tapped into our own truth and into our own happiness, what we want for ourselves, instead of what everyone else is telling us we should want.
Absolutely, absolutely. Caylin, let me also bring you in. You know, when we speak of wellness, it's quite holistic. There's so many different aspects and facets to a healthy lifestyle and wellness. I mean, to speak of drinking lots of water, exercising, healthy diet. So which one should take priority over the other?
It depends what your goal is. So if I'm looking at weight loss, there I do believe your food comes first, because it literally is going to give you 80% of your results.
Yeah.
And then exercise is your 20%. So you can't be giving it all at the gym, but then your eating is a complete mess. You're not going to see goals. But if your eating was at least good, and let's say worst case, you're not able to exercise at all, we would slowly want to start you with the exercise. So often I'll encourage someone, like even, let's say you're going from 0, do a 20-minute walk 3 times a week. That's like basics. Like that's something you can make time for, and there'll be benefits that you can reap from just 20 minutes 3 times a week. So that's how we can bring in the physical aspect. And then the mental health side also so important. And I do believe if you need to see a psychologist or a counselor, that is a step you should take.
Does mental health have an effect on our metabolism or how our body reacts to certain foods?
So you can, if you're experiencing a lot of stress, it can alter your metabolism, it can slow down your fat loss process. It's still very possible to lose weight, but there would be a lot of side effects. And apart from, like the guest also said, it's that willingness to follow a meal plan. If you're not in the right space mentally, you're not going to want to do it.
Caylin, I know it sounds quite ridiculous and ludicrous, to say the least, but you know, what if a person says, I can't lose weight, I've been trying all the other measures and ways of losing weight. What if I just intoxicate my mind and just stress myself deliberately so I lose weight, according to what you just said now?
So it could go south as well, because you might find yourself packing on the pounds. But people should really know, like...
Or it might have the opposite effect.
Exactly.
My goodness gracious me.
Be careful. Yeah, have that balance. And just when you started your sentence saying, I find it impossible to lose weight, I've tried everything, I hear this multiple times a day. I think if all the viewers can know that no matter where you are, no matter if you have a thyroid issue, no matter if you are deep in menopause, no matter what, you can absolutely lose weight. I promise you, you can, which is just so encouraging to know.
Thank you for that encouragement and that assurance. Dr. Mbizvo, how do we block out the negative energy from our lives and the pressures and the stress and the unnecessary stress? Because it's always there. Whenever you open your eyes, there's issues of rent, bond payments, school fees, and everything in between. How do you do that and ensure a positive mindset?
You know, Zimpiwe, I think when I at least personally started on my well-being journey, I did feel like I was wanting to escape the negative in my life. I felt like I needed to book myself into a retreat, go on holiday, just escape everything that was happening. And now I tend to find that it's really useful to sit within it. And that's maybe not the answer that you're wanting to hear, but a lot of the time I think we are focused on perfection in our lives. We're focused on this future ideal that we're trying to reach, whether it's having financial freedom, having financial security, reaching that goal weight, reaching that goal in our relationship. But a lot of the time, our lives are about the journey. You know, I think we take a lot for granted when it comes to the limited amount of time that we have in this lifetime. And so even though it might be difficult sitting in the discomfort of not really feeling financially secure, maybe we don't feel very self-confident, there is a lot of magic to journaling and reflecting through those difficult moments. often what you might find is you may realize that you have this image that you're trying to strive for in the future that has maybe come from the way that you grew up. Maybe you were told to aspire to specific goals when actually those don't intuitively speak to you. We often also find ourselves comparing ourselves to others. So perhaps you actually feel quite satisfied in your life, but then when you come to the office, you hear about all of the amazing holidays that people had, all of the activities that they did, and all of a sudden the great holiday that you had pales in comparison. They often say comparison is the thief of joy, right?
Oh, definitely.
So I think a lot of mental well-being practices, and even when it comes to other aspects of our health, is meeting ourselves in the present and learning to accept where we are in the present moment, to find the things that we are grateful for in the present moment. Gratitude is an extremely powerful practice where we recognize that maybe we aren't quite there yet, wherever we want to be, but there's so much that we can celebrate in our lives. And I think when we tap into the present moment, we then get that mental motivation and that space or sense of pause in order for us to recognize that we do bit by bit and incrementally have the motivation to get to where it is that we want to be.
Dr. Mbizvo, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for making that point. And many thanks to both of you ladies for joining us this morning. May you have a healthy and a fruitful year.
Thanks so much.
Great stuff. We just spoke to Dr. Anesu Mbizvo, medical doctor passionate about holistic health, and Caylin Goodchild on how to take control of your well-being and achieve your health goals this year.